Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In this video, I'm going to give you two main tips on how not to hurt your client's elbow while you're training them. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about the two main muscle groups that work over the elbow. Remember, the biceps or the elbow flexors, right? So they flex the elbow this way, and then the triceps, which extend the elbow. So the first tip is this, and it involves when you're training biceps, and quite honestly, it doesn't matter whether you're doing standard dumbbell curls, barbell curls, or hammer curls. See how I changed the position of my wrist. It doesn't matter whether it's this position. Doesn't even matter if you're talking about reverse curls, which you may or may not do with your clients. But the first tip is this, and it deals with the range of motion, because at the elbow, you can very easily, while you're doing a dumbbell curl or barbell curl, do what? You can go all the way down and lock the elbow at the bottom. That is a no-go. Do not lock the elbow at the bottom of any of these movements. And the reason is really, really pretty simple. When you go to a locked out position, especially when you're holding resistance in your hand in any type of bicep exercise, now what you've done is biomechanically, you're putting an undue level of stress on the tendons from the biceps muscles that go into the forearm. So just keep that in mind. Do not lock the elbow at the bottom position. Now, there are other issues related to the actual performance, but that is the one key tip I'm going to give you. Smooth and controlled on the way down, and always keep, and you can see, a slight little bend to the elbow. Don't lock the elbow at that bottom position. That can cause either injury. It could actually cause an acute injury, but generally is going to create some chronic issues of inflammation in the elbow itself. Don't want to have any part of that. Here's your second tip. It's going to be related to the tricep. Now, in relation to the bicep, the range of motion issue is at the bottom, but when you're doing tricep exercises, such as a cable or some sort of push down movement for your tricep, imagine I've got a cable and I'm doing a push down. Now I see this being done with TRX, right? TRX tricep movements, also using bands. It doesn't matter what the resistance modality is, but here is your second tip. Limit the range of motion on the way up. In other words, don't go all the way up when you're doing a tricep push down. Again, one of the problems that we see with the elbow is that although it can go through these extended ranges of motion, right? My elbow joint can move. Look how far I can move my elbow joint this way and this way. The problem is that when you put the muscles under load, the tendons get stressed. Now, there's nothing wrong with the tendon getting stressed and put under heavy load because of the muscle. The problem is when you take the muscle and lengthen it in the tricep situation, lengthen it to the point where now that tendon biomechanically is put into a compromised position. So it's really simple. The second tip is don't go all the way up when you're doing a tricep push down, just as a for instance. Keep some angle to the elbow. Don't bring it all the way up to your chin and think that you're doing more for your tricep and getting an extended range of motion. Once again, smooth and controlled. Keep the tension on the muscle. And by the way, both bicep and tricep, once you start feeling the tension move from the muscle into the joint, that is a clear signal that you've gone way too far on your range of motion. So tip number one, don't lock your elbow down at the bottom position for bicep training. Tip number two, do not go all the way up on triceps and move the elbow joint into this flexed position, right? Where you're now taking tension off the tricep and you're stressing the tricep tendon. Those are your tips to help make sure that you do not injure your client while you're training biceps and triceps. Just so you know, every Wednesday night, if you didn't know it, we do Quizlet Live. We have a little study competition. So every Wednesday night, 7 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, please come on board and have a little competition, a little fun while you're learning your materials as well. As always, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.